Welcome. I'm Travis, your Office Solutions Pro. In today's video, we're going to take a look at task management within the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Now, if you've been following my channel, you might have already seen a couple of the videos. There's a video on my channel that I did on Microsoft Outlook overview. And in that video, I go through a comprehensive review of Microsoft Outlook, the new interface. So check out that video here. I'm going to go in greater depth into all the capabilities of Microsoft Outlook within there. I'm not going to cover every aspect of Microsoft Outlook inside of here. I'm only focusing on the task management aspects of Microsoft Outlook. Similarly, I also did a video on Microsoft To Do, and you can check out that video here. And in that video, I go through all the aspects of To Do and how To Do works. And I also touch a little bit on things that are covered in this video as far as how things relate between Planner, Outlook, and To Do as part of that video. But if you're looking for a more comprehensive review of Microsoft To Do and its capabilities, you're going to want to check out that video. And then finally, there's a video on Microsoft Planner, and it's mainly focusing on the new planner, but not necessarily the elevated plans. But if you want that video, check that out here because we go through in greater depth exactly how Microsoft Planner works and what you can do with it. This video is going to take pieces of all three of those and just talk about task management more holistically about how you can use the Microsoft 365 ecosystem for a task management system. So let's go ahead and jump right in today, and we're going to start with Microsoft Outlook, essentially the individual, because this is where a lot of stuff that you're specifically assigned comes from. Your manager sends you an email, maybe your boss's boss sends you an email. A lot of our day-to-day tasks that come up come from email. Or in these cases, a lot of times today, they can also come through Teams, but still a lot of people send it through an email. So we'll start here. So let's assume, for example, that I've got a task that's late. Now this is already someplace else as a task, but we're going to use it just for demonstration purposes on how we can do this. If we know we have to take some action with this, maybe all we need to do is read it. Maybe it's something that says, hey, this is new options or new capabilities for a program that you're responsible for, and you just need to review it and understand what's there. Whatever the situation is, you need to do something with this, and right now you don't have time for it, and you're not expecting to have time for it probably the rest of today. So you want to flag that. You want to go ahead and identify this as something that you're going to have to work on in the future. So you have a couple different options. You can flag it. That's all you have to do is just flag it there and then it's done. Or you can drag it over here and you can add it as a task. Or you can add it as an event right here, whichever option you prefer. I'm going to talk about task management, so we're going to go ahead and add it as a task. We just drag that over there, and all of a sudden we have this now as a task. And if we wanted to see that task, we would just go over to Do to see it. Now that's essentially everything that you need to know for Microsoft Outlook. Adding tasks is just that easy from Microsoft Outlook. Incredibly easy. Now you might be saying, well, you're in the new Outlook, we don't have that. You're probably right. Especially if you're in the GCC, you still don't have the new Outlook. Or do you? In the GCC, most GCC employees have access to new Outlook through the web interface. So if you go to the web interface, you're probably going to see the interface looks a lot like this. It might not be dark mode. I prefer dark mode. But if you see these icons over here, that is a clear giveaway that you are on the new Outlook, at least in the Outlook web interface. Now, the desktop client has not been updated in the GCC. If you're outside of the GCC and you don't have the option to see this, then yes, you might be still on the old version. There are some differences between the new and the old, so it's good to be aware of those things as you're transitioning because you are going to lose some capabilities. Again, I covered that in the Outlook video, so if you're curious about that, you might want to check that video out. But essentially for Outlook, that's all we wanted to cover is how do we get things into To Do as tasks we want to track and make sure that we complete. So let's go ahead and check out Microsoft To Do. So when we click on Microsoft To Do, it should look like this. In the GCC, you have not been updated to the new version of To Do, so just be aware of that. There's a good chance when you click on it, this bar right here is going to go away and it's going to look like a completely different interface. If that's the case, yes, you are still on the old To Do, but you're still going to be able to do a lot of the same functionality inside of To Do. So when we come here, we automatically identify that we have late tasks. So let's look at this right here, and that's essentially that email that we received that I just dragged into our To Do. Now you might be wondering, well, why is it not showing as a flagged email? That's a great question. And it's because we dragged it straight into our task. We actually made a task from it. If you wanted it to show as a flagged email, let's go back to our Outlook again. And all we need to do is we'll select one of these other ones here and we're just going to flag it. Flag this message And there we go. Now let's go back to To-Do and see what happened. So when we come in here, now we've got this one that we dragged in there as a task, and then we've got this one that we flagged as an email. So that's essentially how Microsoft Outlook works, is when you drag it in there as a task, it's going to create it as an actual task in here. When you flag it as an email, you're going to get a lot of the exact same information, but it's just going to be a flagged email. So those essentially are the two options you've got when putting things into To-Do. And then remember, you can also create that event as well, which will add it to your calendar. All right, well, now that we're in To Do, what do we have options for within To Do? Clearly, you can create tasks. So if we create a new task up here, and it's just as simple as new task, you have the option to assign a due date for it. If you want to pick a specific date, you can do that here, next week, tomorrow, and today, or you can make it a reoccurring as well as turn on your reminders. And that's as simple as it is to add tasks here. Now you might be wondering, well, what can I do with those tasks? Well, right here, you can't do much more than what we just showed you up here, unless you create these lists right here. So if you create a list, you can share that list. So if I come up here and I hit share, as soon as you've shared this with maybe a team or some coworkers, then you can actually assign. So when would you want to do assigning of tasks? Maybe you're a manager, maybe you're a supervisor, you've got a bunch of employees that work for you. You want to be able to do everything from one interface right here. So maybe you've got these lists right here. Maybe each employee has their own list and you share that list with that employee, or maybe you have a team list. However you decide to set this up, you've got a lot of different flexibility and options. You can actually assign all of your employees right from this interface and manage all the assigned tasks right here, because you're going to be able to see all the due dates. If you're one of those managers out there that has a really hard time keeping track of tasks, hopefully some light bulbs just went off on how you might be able to manage your employees' tasks more efficiently, because this is a great approach for doing that. Now, I will say this, that I don't like this as much as Planner, but we're going to get to Planner in just a second. So if we come up here to assign to me, this is Planner. And if we take a look at this in list format here, you're going to see that it comes from Document Management Plan, the YouTube Video Schedule Plan. You're going to see that all of these things originate from plans. And you'll also be able to see due dates here as well. Most of these don't have due dates on there, but if they do, then you're going to show here as well. And then if we take a look at planned here, you'll see that everything that's been scheduled is going to have a date on it, is going to be in your planned area here. And if you flag anything that's important, you're going to get that here. Again, we're not going to spend a lot of time on how to use To Do. If you want to see that video, check it out. Again, great video that covers all the ins and outs of here. But you can see how To Do really becomes your one-stop shop for everything that you've got. It's kind of like your hub, right? And actually in previous versions of Planner, they called it a hub, but you've got your My Day up here where you can actually put all the different tasks that you have to get done in that day. Everything that's assigned to be done today is going to automatically show up here. And anything that's late, you got to add in here. But anything that's actually assigned for today is going to show up here. And then you can add other things based on how much you might be able to get done during that day, or how much you think you can get done during that day. Maybe you want to get a head start on something that you know is going to be a big task for tomorrow. And you can add it to your day today so that you can get a head start on that. So a lot of flexibility and capability within here for task management. And I actually think this is probably your go-to place for everything having to do with task management within the Microsoft ecosystem. But Planner's pretty good too, so let's go ahead and take a look at Planner. So here's Planner, and again, you're going to see a lot of similarity in the design. Now you might be wondering, hey, you're in Teams, why are you using the Teams Planner? Well, in the case of Planner, Microsoft 365, the Planner app, so if we come up here, it's actually the old app still. So if we explore all the different apps, it's going to be the old one. And a better way to look at it is here. So we'll come look at the actual Planner interface. So if I look at this and I see Planner and I see that old green icon, that's how the actual Planner looks right now in Microsoft 365. They actually haven't updated it for use in this capacity. So you can access it through Teams, but you still can't access it here within the web interface. So that's why we're using Teams to access Planner. Again, we're going to go through all the specifics of Planner in that other video, so definitely check that out if you got any questions about how Planner works. Now, in case of task management, this is a great tool for managers or supervisors to basically assign tasks. Maybe they're a project manager and they've got a specific project. You build the project in here and then you can actually start assigning all of those tasks to everybody. And then your My Day is going to include everything that's already been on your day for doing. or it's been assigned that specific date, or you've been adding it to your day, it's going to show everything right here. And then it's going to show all the different tasks across all the plans that you're on. So you can see I've got 2 different plans here. It's showing all of the tasks that have been assigned across those 2 different plans. Now, in the case of my day job, I've got several different plans, and this list is much, much bigger. It gives me a very easy way to work in order of due date. So I can actually kind of sort this out and see, okay, I need to do these today. I need to do that tomorrow. And it makes it very easy without having to go into each individual plan to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Just go right here and then you can see everything you're supposed to do. Similarly to how To-Do works. All right, let's go down to the My Plans here. And if we click on this, we'll see that all the different plans that are out there are right here. Very easy to interact with. And we'll go ahead and check this one here. And we can see that this is the plan. And right now, hey, I'm not doing that. What's going on here? Well, in this case, I've actually completed this video. So we're going to go ahead and put that into the archive and complete it out. And I'm actually working on this video. So let's go ahead and move that there. And then we can kind of take a look at, okay, what are we going to be starting to research for the next video? Well, I think I'll decide that later. So I don't know right now. We'll take care of that later. But that's how easy Planner is. And again, when you move things between the buckets here, it doesn't necessarily do any updates to the actual tasks and what you're supposed to do. It's just about keeping things kind of organized. And you can kind of see how you as a manager can identify all these different tasks and start assigning people very easily. Now, I might be wondering, hey, I spend a lot of time in Teams. Can I just do everything from the Teams interface? Well, not quite. So you can do most everything from the Teams interface because you've got your planner here, which includes elements of to-do, but you can't actually add to-do over here. It's not one of the options to integrate in here. Hopefully that'll be something that they include in the future because they used to have this option for task by planner, and it was a little bit kind of a hybrid of both. A lot of that is now in the new planner app, so I don't think they're going to probably put that in there, but it would be kind of nice just to have the to-do. I actually prefer the to-do interface over the planner one, but planner does give you a lot of the elements of to-do right here, so you do get kind of the best of both worlds here as well. But if you're not actively inside of the plan and you're not the person maybe managing the plan like your manager might do or your supervisor might do, then you as an employee is probably going to spend a lot of your time in to-do. This is where I would normally spend most of my time is right here because I'm not necessarily in charge of the assignment of the tasks. I'm just the one completing the task. So I need to be able to see everything that's assigned to me, all my flagged emails, all my various tasks, everything that's planned, all the important stuff, and then actually manage my day. That's what matters to me. And then for most managers, this is also going to be very beneficial to you to have that in here as well, but you're probably going to spend a lot of time in Planner as well. And that's where sometimes it matters about what your specific role in the process is. If you're a manager, you're probably going to be in Planner quite a bit of the day because it's going to show you a lot of what you've got planned, but you might also spend a little bit of time in To-Do because it is a little bit easier because everything's right here, but you do actually have to manage your planner. So this is far better than what it was even a year ago, and Microsoft is continuing to develop every aspect of both Planner and these other apps. So it's only going to get better how things sync and work together. And ideally, like I said, some of this capability here that you get with Outlook, maybe they'll expand that to include things like Planner and To-Do, so you've got one-stop shop regardless which interface you're in. Maybe you want to spend all your time in this interface where you have access to your Outlook, your calendar, people, groups, To-Do, and your OneDrive, and hopefully you'll have the ability to do that from Teams also. Well, that's pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully you found the video content helpful. Just a reminder, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button. It really does help the channel grow and get it to others that might also like it. All right, until next time.